Alright guys, so game number 11 here, this Bronze to Masters tutorial series. We're currently in Platinum League. Actually missed the loading screen. I'm going to just assume we're either playing a Platinum or a Diamond Protoss player. It is going to be a Protoss player though, so on this map, there is something that can be very difficult to deal with, largely in the form... this is the guy that I just played in game number 10. It can be very difficult to deal with proxy play or air play from Protoss players on this map. So what we're going to do is the Widowmine Expand build. And I like this build in Terran versus Protoss largely because it's very good for dealing with early aggressive play. You guys see me do it a lot on my stream, as well as just in general. I really think it's a great build. So what we're going to do is supply depot, 10 supply. We're going to wall off. Keep you guys safe from anything you could run into crazy in Bronze League, such as your proxy 2-gate or anything like that. So he does have a probe here already, which is pretty early. So I'm actually going to start this barracks. I'm going to send in an SCV to scout out what he's doing very quickly. I'm actually a little bit worried if he has a probe this early. He could be going for a Nexus first or a proxy gateway. Typically speaking, I think in this low of a league, it's going to be a proxy gateway. But, so the ways that we can deal with this, I'm going to get a really fast wall off. And since we're going for gas at 15 supply, the barracks was at 12 supply, by the way. Very standard timing. We're going for gas at 15, so I'm going to rally the SCV here now that I'm at 14. I've got this supply depot being built up, and I'm going to go scout him. So now 15 supply, start my gas. And when this barracks completes, this SCV will go build the supply depot, and then go mine. So barracks is going to be done. We're going to start our orbital command. SCV's going. And then we're going to mine the gas here. So now we're safe against anything. So I was a little bit nervous because he sent out such a fast probe. Sometimes players just like to scout early, so it's possible he's not doing anything like a Nexus first. And he's not. But if it was a proxy gateway, we probably would know by now. So yeah, it's gonna be a really fast scout is all he was trying to do there. So you know, it's fine to scout that fast as a Protoss player. Trying to pull the probes to get my SCV. So basically when we do this build, we build 2 Marines with this gas, and then we get our reactor. So it's 2 Marines, then reactor. Now, depending on how safe you feel versus your opponent going for anything really aggressive, you can just get your command center to follow this up. And I'm just going to go build my command center on the low ground, because I have a couple Marines, and then I'm going to get a bunker. I don't think it's smart to delay the bunker too much, because you can end up in a situation where... He is going to get my scouting SCV. But you can end up in a situation where your opponent goes for like a quick Zealot, Stalker, Mothership Core poke, and then you just don't have anything to deal with it. So I don't want to have to worry about that. Reactor's going to complete. I'm going to start my factory now, basically as soon as I can afford it. And Marines will hold the ramp. So I saw he took a second gas before he sent anything else. So what I'm going to do is my first scan off of this command center, just going to use to make sure he isn't doing anything crazy like a fast Oracle play. I can check common proxy locations as well, since his probe, I did kill his probe, so I'm not actually as worried about it. I'm just going to send another SCV, see if I can find anything. Killing the probe scout is super important because it lets you know for a fact that they don't have anything like proxy, pylon, or something. And he could always have sent another probe out, but it's just not as likely. So when the factory finishes, we're going to start Widowmine production and a starport. He has a stalker on the field, so he's going to clean that SCV up, deny my scouting pretty effectively. Stalkers move faster than SCVs, so I'm also going to take this gas now. And my command center is complete, so I'm going to turn this into an orbital command. And since I wasn't able to spot anything, I'm just going to scan him as soon as I have the resources to. So as soon as this orbital command is done, I'm going to scan him. I want to know what exactly he's doing. And we're going to get a medevac. If you scout your opponent is doing anything really crazy, you can... Okay, so he's on 1 base. So what I'm going to do now, to be a bit more careful, I'm going to put the Widowmine in my mineral line and start an engineering bay. Engineering bay is mostly for detection. The Widowmine is going to be for protection against anything like an Oracle build, anything like a Void Ray kind of play, something ridiculous. So the other mine's going to go protect the other mineral line, and I'm going to build up a second bunker just to make sure. So I'm actually going to use this medevac to scout, make sure there's nothing in my base. And I have been supply blocked a little bit. I don't have enough energy for a call down, so this could be tricky. Now that stalker, it did poke my front, so what I'm going to do... Okay, he actually has Dark Templar. Okay, he's got Dark Templar coming at me. Alright, this is going to be a bit difficult. Alright. Widowmine should be able to take care of that one. Alright. So, at this point, the Dark Templar provided do create a little bit of an issue. No, I need you to go build a supply depot. Okay. So, he didn't actually kill too many workers. He may stop this from being built, which, okay, I had to cancel that. So, I'm trying to get this set up. He's bringing more Dark Templar in. Okay. This is a bit silly of me. I should have just... Alright. So, I'm just going to retreat to my main base now. Because this guy's really trying to just kill me here. But, should probably stop building SCVs there. Alright, so... We're going to be fine. In the spirit of not just going and killing this guy in response to what he's done, we're just going to do our standard macro follow-up, and everything's going to be okay. So, the engineering bay probably could have been a little bit earlier. The stalker poke was to make sure I didn't have anything set up to defend against it. I'm actually going to use my factory as scout now. And he's got a lot of Dark Templar. He's invested pretty heavily into this. So what this means is, in terms of him being able to afford any kind of infrastructure setup to kill me off after this, he doesn't really have that available to him. I could try to do some kind of drop play. Archons. Okay, so what it looks like he wants to do is just, like, kill me. That's pretty weird. The fact that he'd make Archons is really weird. But... I'm building missile turrets, so... That Archon's really weak. Alright, and now I'm going to get a missile turret set up as well. So, Stim Combat Shield, don't forget your follow-up. Do not forget your follow-up. He's bringing in more Zealots. Alright. This guy's like really committing to try to kill me here. At this point, some drop pressure probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but I refuse to make you guys think that you have to do that in order to win against this, so. Just gonna keep these SCVs, keep some at front. Yeah. He's out on a robotics bay? Really? Robotics facility? I just want to know if he expanded or not. There's no way he didn't expand. Okay. Yeah. Upgrades. He doesn't have any upgrades, so. Alright, and now we should finally be able to get this guy off of our back. So, we just kind of turtle up, hold it off. In most game situations, this would be a really difficult thing to come back from, but I'm not super worried about it. He's just not getting the gas there as well, so we're going to move over, start mining at our natural. This is not something that will happen every game, but this was also partially because I got caught off guard. And sometimes it can be really hard to read what a one-base Protoss gas build is going to be, but the best thing that for him to transition to at this point to deal more damage to me is going to be something like Colossi, but I can still go for a bit of stim timing. Having to save the scans really makes it difficult to deal with everything. But now stim is done, so we're going to try to put a bit of counter pressure. I have the mines to defend here by the missile turret. I'm going to move them a bit closer to the missile turret to make sure that I can spot. And I have a lot of medevacs, so despite everything that he's done, once I get stim and medevacs, he's going to need a bit more than just archons and zealots to take out my army. So I'm gonna rally. I'm rallying some of my units home because I want to make sure that if he does go for some kind of counterattack, that I'm safe. And I need to build up a couple of scans as well. Let's add on those extra 2 barracks, start our armor upgrade, engineering bay, armory. Remember, guys, despite anything that happens, we always focus on the transition. Always focus on the transition. So what does he have? All right, he has some units, but he doesn't have any sentries. So I'm just gonna try to peel away at what he has. So the biggest thing about Dark Templar builds is that they leave you really, really low on units. So my way of punishing this build now, he just doesn't have too much tech to follow it up with. Even though he turtled me inside my base pretty well, oftentimes you'll probably end up playing against opponents once you get to higher leagues that can just kill you for that. Probably wouldn't be able to win a game against a Master League opponent in this scenario, but he does have a Colossus out, so we're going to need to start Viking production. We do have a lot of medevacs, so yeah, what I'm going to do is load up on my medevacs and boost away. Dark Templar actually come earlier than they used to because they're much cheaper. Sometimes even I get caught off guard by them. So, but the point remains, I do have a lot of SCVs. I might be like, well, you're really oversaturated. But the thing is, once I take my 3rd base, like as soon as I take a 3rd, I'm going to be saturated instantly. And I killed off his natural expansion, so I'm actually doing perfectly fine right now. Vikings in front to spot and also to deal with anything like if he pushes me with Colossi right now. Yeah, and I don't actually need to make SCVs anymore. But this factory can also still scout for us. We already have our armory. I'm not as keen on getting a 2nd starport as a lot of players might be. Unless they're going for like a 2-base Colossus all-in. So now I built up my forces a bit. Viking count looking pretty solid. And let's see what our factory sees. Okay, so he's still at home. Upgrade wise, he is 1-1. It looks like. But now I have my 3rd base, so I can immediately saturate this. I'm going to need to remember to get a missile turret though, because he does have a dark shrine. I'm not doing any kind of fancy drop play. I don't think really representative of what you'd often see in this this level of play. So we'll get my ship weapons though, concussive shells, something I personally forget a lot, but it's still pretty good to have. It's gonna build my Viking count. Now he does have that Templar he does have access to get a Templar archive, so it's important for me to make sure that I'm ready for a Templar switch at some point. It's really hard to afford the gas to switch into Templar out of Colossi though when you're on 2 bases, so at this point my goal, I'm just gonna max out and just attack him because I did a lot of damage to him earlier. So I'm gonna scan. Does he have any Templar? Okay. He has a Dark Templar at the tower. Maybe he's taking a 3rd base. I don't know where his army is. So he could be preparing for a drop or something of that sort. But in terms of my army, I'm just gonna go towards the tower now. I'm gonna use this Reaper that I accidentally made to keep tabs on him. And I'm gonna get my Mobius reactor. He does have a Dark Templar here, so scan, kill that. And yeah, my Viking count looking pretty solid, guys. Remember, 8 Vikings is how many you need to 2-shot Colossi. So I like to have like 10, 12 Vikings, unless your opponent's like really heavy on the Colossi. Actually, there's a Zealot over here. That's interesting. He's 1-1 though. My 2-2 is complete, so this is a really good attack window for me. So in terms of what I'm gonna do here, very simple. By the way, I select all my medevacs and A-click on a Marauder, and it will follow them without me needing to have them in the control group. So Just going to poke forward with the Vikings. Keep my army spread out. Stim and just a move. He took a third base, which is kind of interesting. He built Dark Templar. So I have to scan. I can't just a move. And that's, yeah, I think that's game number 11, basically. So, kind of just, it's really, really important when you get into situations like that where you get hit with the fast Dark Templar. It is okay, he was platinum. It's so, I cannot stress this to you guys enough. It is so important to make sure to keep your game plan in mind. Even though he got in, you know, he got the Dark Templar. He did a little bit of damage. He didn't do crippling amounts of damage. My reaction, you know, I tried to keep it properly timed. And I have to say, like, the biggest part of that was making sure that despite the damage he did to me, I did my follow-up. Threw up a couple of barracks, threw up my starport, and I didn't forget to do what I needed to do to secure a victory later on in the game. So.